Okay, the first step is the towing mechanism. So this is the handbrake, so up is on. When you're towing it, you need to make sure that this comes all the way up and is locked in. So up is to unlock it, you wind it up and then lock it in. It's got to be right up in there so that it doesn't drop while you're towing. When you're backing it up, you need to be able to give it a bit of space, so you drive your car forward just so that stretches out a bit, and then you're able to release the handle as well. The gas bottles themselves, you got 2 full gas bottles. Off is horizontal. To turn the gas on, you flick the switch up that way. Actually, you turn the gas on first and then switch the gas up, and then that will run your gas through to heat up the water and run your fridge as well. These are your toilet chemicals. The pink is for the top and blue is for the bottom, and we'll have it, and there's some gloves here if you need to use those as well, and we'll go through that in a minute. Your water plugs in here. If you're on water site, you've got your hose, plug into the tap. If you don't have water site, you need to make sure that this stays full. If the gas bottle is on and you run out of water, it's going to burn out the heaters in the caravan, so you need to ensure this stays full. Plug it in there and that will go into the caravan itself. This is the gas outlet. Got to take this off when you turn the gas on. I just did it wrong, but that's got to come out. If you don't have that off, the caravan will fill with gas, so you've got to make sure that's off. Here is your power outlet. So you've got your battery. It's a rechargeable battery. It can be charged via power, or we have a solar panel up there, so if you're off grid, you can actually run off grid with power as well. Plug it in, make sure that it comes through that bottom there. When you are leaving, you need to make sure that those are tight, lock them up so they don't open up on travel. So here we've got the tank for your grey water. That's for the shower, the sink, all the water that's going through into the caravan. You connect, there's a hose that's stored at the front of the caravan. You connect it to the caravan here and here, and you put this in like that, and that's your breather. When it starts overflowing with water, that means you need to empty the canister. So just keep an eye on the canister there. When it starts to become heavy, just keep an eye on it so it doesn't overflow, and then you can empty it. Switching across to the toilet. The top toilet here is that's for your pink solution, which was stored in the front of the caravan. Put a couple of squirts, or about 50 mils, into here, and that's the deodorizer that goes into the back of the toilet. Lock that up, make sure it's locked, and here is your toilet canister as well. To take it out, to empty it, you need to lift the yellow lever, pull it out. That closes the hatch. You need to make sure that the toilet on the inside has the hatch closed as well, otherwise you'll break it. So you can empty this in those places where you can, the dumping places, and there's gloves at the front where you can use that as well, but make sure you lift that up. Lasts about, if you're going to be using this, make sure you return it so it's clean and empty as well. Also, there's dump stations around the country. Just look it up on Google and you'll be able to find where to dump them properly. If you dump them in the wrong place or in public toilets, you might get a fine. Close the hatch, make sure they click in, lock it up before travel. Coming around the back, this is a bit of in-house storage, so you've got ample room in there. We've thrown in a few picnic chairs, a couple of beach mats, and other things for your leisure. You can also have access, if you can see in there, that's the bottom of the bed, which will go inside shortly, so you can have all that storage underneath. When you travel, make sure you lock it up so that the doors don't fly off. The last compartment is where we keep the hose connectors for when you are camping off site as well, so you can plug those up and use those as well. You can put wet gear in there, like, I don't know, flippers and things like that, so it keeps things nice and away from the inside of the caravan, so all the wet stuff goes in there. That doesn't go, but everything else on the outside is good to go. There's a spare 20 drum for water if you're off grid, and then there's in the event that you have to change a tyre, there's the jack and all the bits and pieces that go with that. And then the spare tyre is underneath the caravan here. You'll need to wind it down to release the tyre to change the tyre as well, in the event that you need to do something. So once you're parked up and found where you are going to stay, you want to stabilise the caravan as well. So there's 4 legs on each corner of the caravan, and you would turn this lever, which is stored in the front of the caravan. You wind it down until it sits balanced. If you're on uneven surface, you don't use the legs to make it even. There's a couple of yellow level blocks. That will help stabilise and keep the caravan nice, flat and straight. There's the front ones on the side, just wind them down to hold it secure, and then you have a level at the front which will help you stabilise it as well. Okay, just when you park up and you want to take your car off when you're on site, you need to make sure that this is hard tight down before you start winding the caravan up. If you take it off and this isn't tight down, the caravan will drop once you move your vehicle away. The other thing too is once this is up high enough, if you can slide that underneath, that just gives it a bit more stability as well. There's 4 planks as well, 4 pieces of wood, which will be stored in the front there, and that is to stabilise the legs under here as well and stop them from sinking if you're on grass. Okay, now we're going to be looking at the interior. At present we're plugged into the mains, however when you get on site you would turn the power on there, and you want the reading to be around about 13, especially if you're off grid, because that tells you how much power access you have. When you're plugged into mains you don't need to worry about that. Then you would also turn on the water, which will start our water flow as well as starting to heat up the water as well. So yeah, just keep an eye on that if you're off grid. Now the power source on main power will light up the entire caravan, as you can see. However, if you are off grid, these overhead lights will not work because they only work by main power. But the underlights here, as you can see, it takes a bit of time to warm up. They all work on solar and battery. These are LEDs. These work by solar and battery as well, and as you can see, they're spotted throughout the caravan, including the bathroom as well. The power also powers up your cords here. They're placed around the caravan in certain places and over here as well. If you are off grid, we've got this little gadget which we store in this top compartment or somewhere in the caravan, and you can plug in your 5 volt and use your TV or other gadgets if you're off grid. The power points will not work if you're off grid, but they will work when you're connected to main power. This power source is a 12 volt and it comes out and acts as a normal power outage as well. The only feature is if you're off grid, the TV will not work without that. The microwave, if you're off grid, will not work as well. But everything will work if you're plugged into a campsite and you're connected to main power. Now moving on to the water, once you get to your site, you can run your hot water. You will notice the sound, and with the gas that you've just turned on outside, it takes roughly about 10 minutes for the hot water to come through. So when you first get to your site, bleed the taps so that the water taps run through as such. And also your shower, and that ensures that the water system is working. and that will start to heat up over time. The water will work through there as well. The other thing to make sure that your water does heat up is there is a switch down here which you need to push down. That's for 70 degrees, which is at its hottest, or you need to flick up at 50 degrees. Generally we keep it at the 70 and moderate the temperature through the tap. The fridge can run by main power. As you can see here, there's a plug. When you push the button, it can go to battery. Doesn't quite work that well on battery, but it does work through gas. So if you're off grid, you can use your gas. If you're on main power connected to a campsite, then you use your power one. Bit of tips and tricks for this. We generally heat up the fridge so that it's nice and cool for pickup. One of the things with this fridge is it's aged a bit, so you need to make sure that it's closed, sealed, otherwise it may not cool how you want it to. So just be mindful of that. Even though you close it like that, you need to actually push it in as well to keep your food cold. The gas stove itself, it has a mercury switch, which means you cannot turn this on while the lid is down. So I'll just, what you do is you turn one of these. I'll try this one. So there you see. So you push in one of the buttons, there's your ignition, and then you can control it as well. The same applies for the oven as well. You've got a little drawer in there, you can cook your toast, and you've also got a full oven in there. This element here only runs from the main power, so it won't run from gas, but you've got other elements that will run from gas. Okay, make sure you switch them off. You need to make sure before you close the lid that all the elements have cooled down, otherwise it will break the glass. Operating the toilet. So on the outside we've filled up our canister with all the chemicals in there. You would use the toilet when you've completed your business, then you can close the lid and you would pump the water through that's connected. When you're finished, you can, which opens the hatch and releases the contents, and then you would close it again so that the smells don't come through. Over here we've got the shower, pretty self-explanatory how those features work, and then we have the caravan in itself here. A couple of added features with the caravan is there's an extension table which will connect to the end of the table in the middle bay, and then there's towels and wash basket and other things as well. Spare toilet paper inside, and some rubber gloves if you need them. There's some under storage which has got a few gears in there. Welcome to use all of those as well. This bed goes down, and then we can come into our pantry, which there's a few things in here for your convenience. Pots and pans on the bottom, Glad wrap, foil, all the bits you need. Pretty similar to a B&B. Touching on a bit of health and safety, we have the fire extinguisher here, and we also have the fire blanket, and as I discussed before, we've got those two alarms. Using the heater is a bit more of a wintry thing, I think, but in summer hopefully we won't need it. But if you wanted to use the heater, you would need to switch this to gas, which is there. Won't turn that on. And then you would turn the dial, and then you would click. It may take a few attempts, but if you persevere, it will start. It does go, and just make sure that it is turned off when not in use. The front feature, this folds out to a bed, or pulls out to a bed. Oh, sorry, can't do it. It pulls out to a bed. You would adjust these, put these in the middle, put these on the head side, and then that converts into a queen bed as well. Some of the additional features we have We've got complimentary tea, coffee, Milo, a couple of cereal things, and other herbs and spices if you want to use for your convenience. Glasses, cups, a few amusement games, and here there's probably not much. Oh, there's a few colouring in books for your entertainment and use as well. Sheets for the queen bed down here. You got your first aid kit, and then you have like fly spray and all the other necessities, a couple of torches, things like that, spare rubbish bags, and cleaning products as well if you need. There's more cleaning products in there, or a broom, and on this side we have stuff for the dishes as well. There's your tray, there's another tray for dishes, and then there's cutlery in there. Inside you've got your utensils, cooking utensils, and then you've got your crockery. That is being separated by these rubber things just to reduce the chance of breaking during travel. A few additional bedding. So you've got 2 queen size duvets and 2 additional pillows. You've got some citronella things if you're sitting outside enjoying the scenery as well. One of the most important things when you are departing is to ensure that everything is secure before you depart. That means everything must be locked in securely. You will see that there's 2 types of locks. There's one which kind of has a gap in there. When you travel, it is important, so important, that you pull it in tight so it latches shut, locked. If you do not do that, the windows will fly off, and that will be a bit of a problem. The main other thing too is you have your roof that you can close up as well. All of this is a must do before you leave, please. So I hope that's been helpful. Enjoy your trip, and pop us a line in the guest book that we've got in our caravan Koastal Kruiser. Cheers.